So do you love fairies and fairy gardens and fairy villages? Do you have some fairies and you're not quite sure how to make these things or what to put together? Well, in today's video, I'm going to introduce you to my 3 fairies, and I'm going to show you all the displays and all the houses and all the accessories you can either buy or make for your fairies and their garden. Hi, I'm Bonnie Overman. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope my channel will inspire you to lead a more productive, creative, and stylish life at any age, always on a budget. You know, I'm 72 years old, and I just say it because if I can do it, I know you can do it too at any age. I have confidence in you. I want to thank my dear sweet subscribers, all my wonderful friends that watch my videos, that take the time to do that and comment and are so kind and sweet to me. You really touch my heart. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. You don't want to miss any of these 2024 videos with a different theme every month. And if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. It does help my channel. Okay, before I start, I want to tell you about a couple channels of people that I think do a fabulous job on fairies. You know, I only basically do this 1 month a year, and I'm going to put the name of their channels below. The first one is a dear friend of mine, Barby Dailey-Ruralife40. She is so clever, and she lives on a farm with her beautiful cows and her pets and her husband. And she does the most cutest things and most creative. She made a fairy house out of a birdhouse. What a great idea for that, using the stuff you have. The next one's Grandma Sandy. Grandma is a kick, and she does fairy gardens, and she'll do them every single week for you with all different themes, Alice in Wonderland and all kinds of stuff. And I just have a new channel. She started watching my videos. I was unaware of this, and I always like to see who's watching my videos and what their channel's like. And it's S-E-E, CJ's Fairy Forest. And I'm going to put the name of those down below. Just look under description, click more, and then I'll have their names of their channels. She has beautiful music and has things outside with houses and villages made out of bark. And she showed how to make a fairy door with hinges on it. I mean, just fabulous. So please take a look at these. So I have 3 fairies I got at Hobby Lobby, and it's Flora, Fauna, and Fern. Those are the 3 ones. And I'm not into buying a bunch of them, but I also have a couple gnomes I got at Dollar Tree. So I want to show you all how I do my displays. You can do a very small display if you just want to have one fairy and in a little cloche, or you can do a photo backdrop and do a whole village. You can do whatever you want. It could be outside in the dirt. It could be inside in your house, wherever you want to do it. But this is my crafting video all about fairies and their houses and their accessories. So I can't wait to show you everything. It's time to go into the magical forest and see what the fairies have put together. I can't wait. I hope you love it. I hope you get so inspired, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye. Welcome to my fairy craft video and shout out. And again, I want to shout out a couple channels. I'm going to list them below. So this is a 2-parter. I'm going to show you this display, and then I'm going to do something Alice in Wonderland inspired. So I wanted to show you this backdrop to start off with. I want to give you lots of options for your fairy display, which could be as big as this, or just one little cake stand with a cloche on it and one fairy in it. So you can do from very little to even bigger than this. You can do it inside, you can do it outside. This is my backdrop. Now this is one of those photographic backdrops you can get for parties. It's got these little lights and branches and blue skies and fog. It looks very mysterious, and these big trees on either side. So here's some of the things I use. I'm going to try to break it apart for you a little bit. Now, what I like to do, and I think what makes this look very interesting, is different heights. You notice back here I have my little stool. I don't know, it's probably about 8 inches high, I'd say. And then I have my 2 wood rounds, which work really well in the forest, if you know what I mean. And they're just slightly raised off the table. And then of course I have these smaller wood rounds, which you use for walkways and to support things and all kinds of things. Now on here, I have a Hobby Lobby moss birdhouse. What I did is I took this and turned it around so the birdhouse opening is on the other side, and I just put one of Dollar Tree fairy doors. That's what these are down here, okay? You guys have seen these. You go, well, what am I going to do with that? Well, this is what you can do. This is actually the same little one. You can repaint the roof. You can put some moss on top, and see how I repainted it to look very old and weathered. And all you have to do is put that in front of any object and you've turned it into a fairy house. See, here's another one. Now this is one where I took one of those moss bird houses, plopped it into one of my faux tree stumps and put one of the doors in front of it. And you have a fairy house. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Or you can even just use a fairy door like I have down here. Here's how I set this up. I first set up my 3 tiers here. Set up all the hard things you want to set up, and then set up your houses. And it could be, like I said, as little as just the doors. It could be larger like this. Or I want to show you something I made over here. Now this one here is one of those, I call them house boxes because they're kind of in the shape of a house from Dollar Tree. And what I did is I went ahead and I put some kind of mushroom paper behind here. In fact, I'll be honest. It's actually the bottom part of this photo thing. It had mushrooms on it and stuff. I stuck it in the box, and I just took one of the Dollar Tree houses and stuck it in there. And look how cute that is. Or, if you look at the other side, I actually made a house. So what I did with this is I took apart some pine cones for the roof. These are just twigs, some wood scrapbook paper. This is hot glue made to look like stone. And look how cute that is. Here's some of the smaller houses I made in the same fashion. So you can make all kinds of houses and actually make them reversible. So you could have 2 different types. You could just have this and have a couple fairies in front and whatever. Now, I don't have a bunch of fairies. I have 3 fairies because what I think is interesting is telling a story about the fairies. So we have flora, fauna, and over here we have fern. Now these 3 fairies came from Hobby Lobby, as did these mushrooms or toadstools or whatever you want to call them here. And I like the pop of red, and you see how I dispersed them kind of around the display. And then there's some other things that have mushroom type qualities, and that's these little houses I just got at Dollar Tree. I need to paint them and put some moss on them and really fix them up, but I thought they were so cute, and I bought 3 of those. Now, what are the accessories I have? Well, I have a little pond. I have some little stairs and a little welcome sign. I have a little mailbox. Here's another welcome sign down here. So, and the little trees with faces on them. I have another one over here. And I just place those where I want them. Then you come in with all your organic looking things. So in the back, I just put some ferns back there. But this fern, and I've talked about this so many times, I absolutely love this fern. Look what it looks like without it. See how it's like the magic is gone. But you add this fern, and now it looks like she's standing in a fern forest. I put the ferns on top of the houses, kind of sticking out the sides. You want it to look wild. Now, I wanted to show you this because I did not bring this out at Easter. This is an Easter egg, a big plastic white Easter egg from Michael's. I covered it with leaves. You know, I tear off the leaves off of my flowers because I don't like them. I think they look fake. And then I put a little garland of leaves around the opening, painted the inside bluish green. I can use it with fairies. I can use it with gnomes. I can use it at Easter. I can use it any time of the year. All right, now my last tip I want to give you before we move on to Alice in Wonderland, you want to see this, is if you have any old tablecloths or anything like that, glue a bunch of stuff on it. So I made like a bed that would be out in the forest of moss and acorns and little leaves and all kinds of things. And if you might say, Bonnie, I really can't afford fairies, or I break everything. I have to be so careful. I break everything. But I break everything. Anna Griffin has the most beautiful paper fairies. And this comes in a kit. And you can see how cute they are tucked among the greenery. All right, now let's take a trip to Fairyland and Wonderland kind of coming together. Let's take a look. Welcome to the second part of my video. And I wanted to kind of twist it a little bit. And I wanted to throw Fairyland together with Alice in Wonderland, meaning you get a couple fairy things, and if you add some Alice in Wonderland things, you have a whole new storyline. So this story is all about some people that Fauna here, this is her fairy door to her house. Again, this is one of those book boxes, and I just covered it with some scrapbook paper. This is Once Upon a Time in one of my fairy doors. And then the white rabbit, the good queen, the bad queen, and we have the rabbit and Tweedledum and Tweedledee came from a movie poster. So you don't need to have physical three-dimensional things to do these stories with. You can do pieces cut out of a poster. Anyway, let's get to the story. So Fauna is very, very confused. She said, I don't understand. Alice, I see you there sitting on the little tree stump. How did you get here? And I look up and I see here's the good queen, and here's Tweedledum and Tweedledee and the white rabbit. What are you all doing? Alice says, I don't know. I wandered away from my land, and all of a sudden I saw this beautiful forest, and I couldn't help coming in, and everybody followed me. Oh my gosh. All right, well, as long as you're here, we want to offer you something to eat. But how did you actually get here? Or how would you get home? Well, I see over here there is a rabbit hole. So we're going to have to go down the rabbit hole here and see if we can get back to our land. Now, I just want to tell you, I made this rabbit hole out of cardboard. This is all cardboard, you guys. I just made the little edge around it, faux painted it, did the center black, did the little swirls, added a little card, a mushroom, a teapot, and you have a rabbit hole. That is perfect in the display. Well, I'm going to get something to serve you now. Would anybody else like something, some tea and cake? White Rabbit said, oh, I'd like to. All right, let me go in and get some. After a while, they're eating their cake and drinking their tea, and the rabbit notices he's shrinking. The rabbit says, oh my gosh, I not only shrank, but I have wings now. Did I become a rabbit fairy? Fauna laughed. I think you did, White Rabbit. You're in the wrong forest. You never know how the magic is going to work here versus Wonderland. How do I reverse this? What should I do? Well, let me make you another cake and see if it helps. There you go, Rabbit. Eat this pink cake. See if it helps you. Oh, thank you, Fauna. Oh my gosh, I grew back to my regular self. And remember, you all, it's late. All of you from Wonderland, it's time to go for tea. Don't forget, said the Cheshire Cat as he leaped across the forest. The queens went running off too, and the White Rabbit said, come on, Tweedledum and Tweedledee, it's time to go. And as Fauna looked outside her door, she said, oh my gosh, goodbye, Alice. Come and visit anytime. And she could hear Alice say, goodbye, Fauna. Thank you for the tea and cake. Love you. See you later. And that was the little experience when Wonderland and Fairyland clashed together. Fauna sighed and said, well, I'm going to go tell my sisters, but I know they're not going to believe me. Oh, they left some keys. Well, we know better than to mess with those. I don't want to be a gigantic fairy. All right, I guess that's it for the day. I hope you loved this. I hope you got so inspired, and I hope you'll make a fairy forest, fairy pot, something to do with the magical world of forests and fairies, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.